Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 672nd Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. And what a battle I've got for you to watch today, with a couple of tactical movement questions in you might like to answer. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Crypto, who has unusually bought the Dacian faction. Now he's got 7 chosen swordsmen, 7 archers, 4 cavalry generals, and 2 horse archers. As I say, very unusual for Crypto to bring Dacia, so this will be a very experimental army. There's a chosen swordsman. Now remember, these guys have got excellent morale, just like urban cohorts, and can be very underestimated infantry. You put good upgrades on this infantry and you'd be surprised on how good it is. And as I say, they've got excellent morale, just like urban cohorts. Then you've got the chosen archers there, long range, good defense, and when they run out of arrows they can be very effective light infantry. So it'll be interesting to see how Crypto uses them during the course of the battle. And I see he's opted here for cavalry general units rather than heavy cavalry, like, you know, the ordinary cavalry units there. Don't forget, these guys have got 2 hit points. I see he's got gold shield, gold attack on them, so I think that gives him something like a 19 defense, plus, as I say, 2 hit points on these fast moving cavalry units. Be interesting to see how he uses them. And then he's got 2 Scythian mercenary missile cavalry units, so it'll be interesting to see how he uses them as well. But as I say, this will be an experimental Dacian army. I haven't seen Crypto bring this army before, or this faction before. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Lando. Now Lando's got 13 infantry, 2 archers, and 5 cavalry. Okay, quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry, and there you can see he's got 7 upgrades: an experienced strike, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good balanced Lando army there. It'll be interesting to see how he does with that during the course of the battle. Our next teammate is Steve Longshanks, who has unusually bought the Macedon faction. Now Steve has just got 13 pikes and 6 Cretan archers. Okay, so there you are, that's his Macedon, but no cavalry. Okay, he's got no cavalry there. He's just concentrated on the pikes and the 6 Cretan archers. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's got his very old Roman army of 13 infantry and 6 cavalry. So there's our team. I suppose it's quite diverse, really. You've got, say, Crypto with Dacia. You've got Lando with Rome, you've got Steve with Macedon, and you've got myself with Rome. How often do we see Dacia on a 31k battlefield? And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member First Prime. Now First Prime has got the very old bog standard 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, if you notice the darker areas there on the map, that's the long grass, and that's where he's got his 6 cavalry hidden in there. But he has got the old-fashioned bog standard 31k Roman army, 14 infantry, 6 cavalry. Okay, the next teammate is Barclayman, who has unusually bought Germania. Now he's got 3 archers, 2 spear warband, 5 chosen axemen, 2 knight raiders, 3 berserkers, and 5 cavalry. So he certainly has got a big selection of German units here. And just to say, these guys here, these spear warband, you don't see them brought to the modern 31k battlefield much, but many years ago a lot of players that bought Germania bought these units because they are quite tough. Look at the length of those spears. They're really good anti-cavalry units, and if you put good upgrades on, you'd be surprised on how good these units are. In fact, I think if I remember right, maybe 14-15 years ago, somebody bought 3 berserkers and then 6 cavalry, and the rest of the units were all these spear warband units, and he did extremely well with them. I know tactics and battle army builds have moved on and evolved a lot since those times, but I think those are an underestimated unit, and it's nice to see Barclayman bringing them back onto the modern day battlefield. There's his Gothic cavalry with 8 upgrades on, 2 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Check the specifications on these cavalry, and I think you'll find that they're very underestimated cavalry. They're pretty tough. And then he's got his chosen axemen. Remember, these chosen axemen with 8 upgrades on there are effective against armor there. Those axes can cut with large swathes through heavily armored troops like Roman troops. So, and I see he's got 5 units of those. And then he's got his Night Raiders there, 2 units of Night Raiders. Now remember, these are good infantry in their own right, but they bring a big fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops, destabilizing them, and making them more susceptible to routing. Okay, so as I say, he's got a good mixed army here, I think. And there's the infamous berserkers there, with their effective against armor maces, their 2 hit points, and a massive fear factor that they bring to destabilize enemy troops there. So as I say, I think this is an experimental Germanic army for Barclay Man, but I think that's a very interesting Germanic build there. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Man 2. Now Man 2's got the new bog standard 31k Roman army of 8 infantry, 6 archers and 6 cavalry. Okay, so 866 there. That seems to be the modern bog standard Roman standard army there. And as I say, you've got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So it'll be interesting to see how Man 2 handles this, as I say, new bog standard 31k Roman army. And their last teammate is Brotherhood member Aurelius. Now Aurelius has got 13 spear units, 11 Spartans and 2 armoured hoplites, plus he's got 5 archers there. But if you notice there, he's got mixed archers, he's got his elite long range Cretan archers, and he's got his cheap short range archers there as well. So this is Aurelius's standard Greek cities army, and he's got very good with them there. So quite diverse. You've got Rome with First Prime, you've got Germania with Barclay Man, we've got Rome with Man 2, and we've got Greek cities with Aurelius. So both teams quite diverse in their own way. But just to say, can you see here that Crypto with his fast moving cavalry? Okay, I think he realised he was going to be opposite the Greek cities faction there. So that's why he's bought this fast moving cavalry. Can you think why he wants that opposite Greek cities? Okay, well, if he can, what he would love to do is get that fast moving cavalry round the flank here and smash into Aurelius's archers. That's what he would like to do there. Take those cavalry round the flank and smash into those archers and take those archer units out. Okay, at this stage of the battle, as we saw earlier here, you'll see Crypto taking his fast moving cavalry over towards the Greek cities. He'd like to take out these 2 Greek cities light cavalry units if he could. But Aurelius saw him on the way there. Remember, those light cavalry units of Aurelius's can move just as fast as these fast moving units of Dacia. Okay, but as I say here, Crypto would love to get round the flank of the Greek cities there to take out all those archers of Aurelius if he could. Okay, that's why he's moving over there. As I say, he'd probably like to take out these 2 light cavalry units as well if he could. But really his main aim would be those archers of Aurelius there. But if you notice here, Man 2's quite switched on with the threat here to his allies' archers. And if you notice here, Man 2's brought all his cavalry over there and has put a good blocking cavalry wall there. Just pause the game for a second there. So I say that's a good cavalry blocking wall there to block Crypto's Dacian fast moving cavalry trying to get to the archers there. So as I say, a good move there by Man 2, a good teamwork move there, switched on, could see the danger to his allies' archers there, so has blocked the way there with his cavalry. So really well done to Man 2 there. Okay, at this stage you'll see that Man 2 has turned his defensive blocking wall into an attacking force here. Notice how he's got his cavalry spread out in wide formation in open order there to cover more ground. And there you are, you could see that Dacian unit couldn't get away there because the red line was right behind it there. So all Crypto could do was charge it in there in an alt attack, but that's one of his missile troops, fast moving missile troops taken out there. Let's say I think he's making a wise decision in moving away with his barbarian, his Dacian general, fast moving general units there. You'll see that he's got another unit here, missile unit, Crypto there, but it looks like he's going to get caught between those 2 fast moving Greek city light cavalry units there, and bang as they charge in there. So now both of Crypto's Scythian mercenaries missile cavalry there have now been routed or taken out. It looks like this unit's going to be finished off by Man 2's Julii cavalry there. But I thought this was a nice move there. I think Crypto used those 2 horse archer units as distraction tactics there. Well, he's now going to smash into this these Julii archers there with his fast moving Dacian cavalry general units. So yeah, as I say, I think he used those horse archer units of his as distractions there. Well, he is now going to smash into these Julii archer units of Man 2s, and bang, as he charges in there. Nice hit there. Remember, these fast moving barbarian general units got 2 hit points on. I see he's got gold shield, gold attack on them, so they got something like a 19 defense plus. There are 2 hit points there. As you can see here, he's doing a lot of damage to those archer units. And First Prime's had to bring his cavalry from the other flank over here to try and defend Man 2's archers there. Very good teamwork there by First Prime. But as I say there, you could see that Crypto's fast moving armoured cavalry general units there had done a lot of damage to those archers, but surprisingly hadn't taken them out there. I was expecting to see both those archer units may have routed there, but he may well go back in for another hit there. It'd be interesting to see if he... And there you are. You can see he's charging back in with his fast moving units there. He knows he can outrun the enemy heavy cavalry there, so it looks like he's going to smash into these archer units again. Get ready for this, and bang, as he smashes in there. And they took that unit out on impact there. Did you see that? It was already so weakened there. The impact there took it out. Now you've got First Prime's and Aurelius's cavalry there, but here you can see they're not attacking at the moment there. And there you are. You get a good move there by Crypto's 2 fast moving cavalry. Took out 2 of those archer units there, I think, of Man 2s. So well done to Crypto there. And those fast moving units can also be annoying as well. Can you see the Greek city's general now chasing those units with his Spartans there? You can see he was like almost frustrated there as he's running forward, still chasing those cavalry units. As I say, it looked like he was a bit annoyed or a bit frustrated there, but now he is now open to a lot of our archer fire here and pilot damage here from Lando's throwing those pilers into those Greek city units. So as I say, those fast moving units can sometimes be very frustrating to enemy generals there, and they can sometimes do rash moves that they wouldn't normally do. Here you are, you can see Lando moving a couple of infantry units forward. It wouldn't surprise me if he tried to take out those pilot shield units in front of the Spartans there, those armoured hoplites. It wouldn't surprise me if he tried to take them out so that he could do more damage to the Spartans with his pilots. There you are, can you see he's hitting that armoured hoplite unit there. As I say, it wouldn't surprise me if that was a tactical move there by Lando, try and take out there, or he's taken that first pilot shield unit out and now he's going to go for the second unit there. There you are, you can see he's looking to take out the second pilot shield unit there. So as I say, if he then gets close to the Spartans, then all his pilots will be hitting the Spartans rather than those armoured hoplites there. Okay, so good tactical move, and just look at the archer fire that's coming in on those Spartans as they're moving backwards, showing the rear of those units, the most weakest part there, okay, to the archers there, so they're going to be suffering a lot of casualties. And as I say, it looks to me like Lando's going to try and take out the other pilot shield unit there, and if you notice here, he's moving his main army around the flank. Now he may well be looking to attack the flank of the Greek cities there. He's got to be aware of Man 2's cavalry with their 8 upgrades on, but it looks to me like he's going to move around the flank of Aurelius's Greek cities there. And look at the volume of archers that we've got. I didn't count how many archers we've got all together, but you can see we've got loads of well upgraded hard hitting archers here that are shooting loads of arrows into those Spartan units as they're withdrawing. And as I say, don't forget the weakest part of any unit on Rome Total War is the rear part of those units. Now Man 2 would love to get his cavalry around here and smash into our archers, but Lando's got his well upgraded cavalry there ready to counter Man 2 if he tries doing that. Okay, but as I say, the archer fire, the volume of archer fire going into the rear of those Spartans as they're moving back will be causing loads of casualties there. Okay, I see some of our allies are using fire arrows, and remember, fire arrows lower morale but do less damage. So I think in this circumstance I would just use ordinary arrows because they do more damage into the rear of those Spartans as they're pulling back. But as I say, just look how aggressive Lando's being. I think he's taken out that other pilot shield unit as well. The other hoplite, armoured hoplite unit has been taken out, and he's just throwing his infantry there, like being really aggressive to those Spartan units there. So it's very nice, aggressive move. We know Lando's one of the most aggressive attacking players on Rome Total War, and you can see there he's laying his credentials on the table. You can see the Macedonian General Steve's moved over as well. A lot of pressure here on the Greek cities by both Steve and Lando and all our archers. So we're putting a lot of pressure on the enemy right flank. So I think First Prime has seen this. Can you see how he's moving his army forward? What I think he wants to do is be aggressive on this flank to try and take pressure off of the other flank there. Good tactical move and a good teamwork move there, I think, by First Prime. But he must be careful he doesn't get isolated in being aggressive, because we know that First Prime is also one of the most aggressive attacking players on Rome Total War. And you can see him running his Scipii army forward here towards my army. And if you notice here, I'm doing a tactical withdrawal. I'm pulling back a little bit there from First Prime's army as he's moving forward. Okay, but now you can see First Prime is really kind of advanced a long way forward there. In fact, do you think he looks a little bit isolated there? I don't know what you think. He's got his Julii ally right behind him there, but he kind of sticks out a little bit, doesn't he, from the main enemy battle formations. And you can see he's got cavalry in behind him there. And if you notice here, I'm pulling back even more, trying to draw him forward even more away from his allies there. If you notice that, and you can notice here, you can see First Prime's throwing pilots into our allies' archers there, so that's okay. And as you can see here, I pulled back and I've drawn First Prime forward even more now. Okay, so do you think he looks a little bit isolated, a little bit exposed now? Okay, make no mistake, me pulling back was a deliberate tactic to try and draw him forward, and that's exactly what we've managed to get done there. Okay. He's got his cavalry in behind him. He's got the Germanic cavalry there as well. Plus, you've got Mantu's Julii infantry there. But as I say, you can see First Prime is a little bit isolated there, maybe. And we're going to have to see if we can maybe make the most of that on this flank. Okay. But as I say, he's done this to take pressure off of the other flank there. So it was a good teamwork move and quite a good tactical move there, as I say, to take pressure off of the other flank there. Now there's going to be a lot of pilot exchange in there between his army and mine. Okay, so we're going to be damaging our pilot shield units here by all the pilots that's going in from both directions. Okay, so just to give you a heads up here, we are going to be attacking this flank very, very aggressively. Okay, just giving you a heads up. There's no deception tactics, there's no trying to fool the enemy here. We are going to attack very, very aggressively on this right flank. You can see I've got my cavalry locked and loaded there to go in from an angle. Okay, let's pause again for a second here. You've got Lando's cavalry locked and loaded, ready to hit head on, and my infantry is going to smash into the forward units of First Prime, and then both Lando's and myself cavalry is going to hit. Crypto's got his chosen swordsman here with their 8 upgrades on, going to smash into the side of First Prime's infantry. Okay, so make no mistake there's no deception moves, there's no messing around here. We are going to attack very aggressively there. Now here I'd like to draw your attention to, can you see that Crypto's fast moving barbarian warlord units there, cavalry units, are moving around this flank. Now can you think why they're doing that? Look at the enemy factions. Why would they want to do that? Why would Crypto want to take his cavalry round the flank here and get in behind the enemy team? Okay, then there's a definite reason for this. Have a look at the factions involved. Look at Germania. Okay, now what he would like to do is get his cavalry in behind Germania and then smash into the back of these berserkers. Remember, if these berserkers have enemy units close to them, or if they're attacked by enemy units, they will activate. And the moment they activate, the Germanic general will lose all control over them. And what they'll do is just chase the nearest unit. So say if this cavalry unit hit it there and then rode off, that berserker unit would chase that cavalry unit all over the battlefield, and you could just tire it out and take it away from the main battle, because that's what it'll do. It just chases the nearest enemy unit. So if Crypto can get in behind and smash into the back of those berserkers there and take them away from the battle, that would be a great tactical move. But meanwhile here we're going over to the enemy left flank and our right flank here. Okay, so you can see I'm running my army forward. I'm going to try and hit his forward units, going to hit First Prime's forward units. Lando's cavalry is going to charge in head on. I'm going to hit from an angle here. Okay, so what I'm looking to do, hit from an angle, and you can see that Crypto's got his chosen swordsman, that he's going to come in from the flank there. Okay, so make no mistake here, First Prime's the target. He's a little bit isolated maybe, although Man 2's moved some of his Julii infantry forward there, but First Prime is the target here. Okay, so here you can see I'm running my SBQR infantry forward into the forward units of First Prime. Okay, and that's what we're doing here. I want to move my infantry as far into his battle formation as I can. And as I say, you've got Lando's cavalry locked and loaded, ready to charge him. Now this is a good teamwork move here by Barclay Man, bringing those 2 spear units over. Okay, that's a good move there by Barclay Man. Good supporting move there. But as I say, you can see my units moving forward. Right, let's pause the game for a second. You've got Crypto's chosen swordsman there, ready to come in from the flank. Okay. But as I say here, good move by Barclay Man here, bringing those anti-cavalry spear warband units over there. And you'd also be surprised on how well they can hold up infantry as well. As I say, very underestimated unit those spear warbands are. And it's nice to see Barclay Man bringing them to the modern day battlefield. You've got First Prime's cavalry locked and loaded, ready to counter-attack any move that we throw in with our cavalry. Also, I'd like to draw your attention here. Can you see that Lando has now moved all his infantry, okay, that was on the other flank? Do you remember his infantry was over there? He's now moved all his infantry over here. So if there was any doubt about where our team is going to hit, okay, that is now gone. The hammer blow of this attack by us is going to fall onto First Prime. Okay, that is where the hammer is going to strike the hardest on First Prime here. As I say, you can see we're building our forces up there. We're already attacking him with my infantry, and we're ready to smash into his army there with so many of our forces. Okay, so you can see there cavalry, infantry from all directions there, plus those archers shooting into us. So I've got a tactical movement question, 2 of them actually, to ask you here. Now, if you're a Germania general with your Knight Raiders and Berserkers and you're effective against armor axemen, what are you going to do here to help First Prime? Are you going to run your infantry over there, integrate your infantry with First Prime's infantry, activate the Berserkers to help? Or are you going to stand them at the back there and maybe charge them in when you think it's time? But what would you do if you were the Germanic general? I think I'd take my units over there, try and help First Prime. And now another very important question here, tactical movement question. If you were Aurelius, would you take your Spartans over to that flank there where you're going to fight enemy Roman troops head on? Okay, I'd have thought that would have been a Greek city's general's dream there, of taking his Spartans over, integrating his Spartans with First Prime's infantry, and then fighting enemy Roman infantry head on with his Spartans. Now, is that something that you would do? You can see what's happening on the other flank. So if you were Aurelius, would you take your Spartans over to the left flank there to help your ally, or would you think outside of the box? Here, I'm going to give you another option here. You know that saying about thinking outside of the box? Well, what about if he took his Spartans round here and crashed into the side of Steve's Macedonians here? Now, as I say, that is thinking outside of the box, because what he might think there is that we know Macedonian units have got very low morale. So, and if Steve's concentrating on the battle over there, he might not notice that Aurelius is going to bring his Spartan units in. And if Aurelius could get a few of those Macedon units to rout, as we know, as I say, the morale's not very good, then maybe he could get a chain rout of all those Macedonian units, and then he could charge through them as they're going to be all routed, and then go back into the rear of our attacking troops. Okay, so if you were Aurelius here, would you attack Macedon here in the hope of maybe getting a chain rout going, knowing that Macedon morale is not very good? Or would you run your Greek cities units over to the left flank, integrate your Spartans with First Prime's Scipii troops? Which would you do? Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Obviously, you're going to see what's going to happen next on the battle here, but before you do, which do you think you would do? Take your Spartans over to that left flank, or would you attack the Macedonians? Okay, meanwhile here you can see First Prime's army is going to be crashed. Right, you can see Lando's cavalry going in, and get ready for this. It's going to be some kind of impact. You've got him in wedge formation for more penetration, and bang, as he smashes in there. Right, just going to pause the game for a second here, because you see here these spear units, okay, they're engaged, they're going to be engaged by our troops there, and what I'm going to do is try and charge my cavalry in and miss the edge of that spear unit, so I don't meet anti-cavalry spears. I'm going to try and charge in at an angle that I'm going to miss the spear units. You can see we're all charging in there. You can see that Crypto's chosen swordsmen are going in. We're really smashing in there with everything we got. So you can see Lando's cavalry's already landed a punch. You can see my cavalry's going in there now. Bang! As I smash in there, you can see First Prime's cavalry is now counter-attacked, and bang! As he smashes in there with his cavalry. Oh my gosh, make no mistake, this part of the battlefield is going to prove decisive. Right, let's pause the game for a second here. So you can see my infantry and my cavalry are engaged. You can see that Lando's brought his infantry over, just to show you this spear warband unit that you don't see on the modern day battlefield here, doing so well against that Dacian chosen swordsman there. Okay, the Dacian swordsman got in behind him a little bit here, but that spear unit's still holding. As I say, underestimated unit, I think. Right, now Aurelius has made his decision. He's thought outside of the box. Instead of taking his Spartans over to the left flank, he has decided he's going to attack the flank of Steve's Macedonians here. Now, as I say, what he's hoping for is a quick rout, probably, of Steve's Macedonians there. That's what he's hoping for. Maybe because he knows that their morale's so low. But look at the Germanic general there. Don't you think that you would be running all your troops over to that left flank now? Do you think your berserkers, your cavalry, your chosen axemen, all over to that left flank there? Is that what you would do if you were the Germanic general? I just wonder what your opinion would be there. Do you think that's what you would do? Or if you wouldn't, what else would you have done? You got Mantu's Julii infantry there. Maybe he could throw a couple more units in to help. He's already thrown 2 units in there, but he could throw some more units in there to help First Prime maybe. Just wonder what your opinion is on that. But here you can see poor old First Prime's really getting hammered by 2 SBQR armies and the chosen swordsman of Crypto there. Okay, he is really getting hammered there. Look at that. You can see, but I think First Prime is holding really well. I was expecting to see most of his army routing by now, but look at how well he's holding. I know he's got an Eagle unit in his infantry, and I know he's got his infantry general there giving morale to his troops. But I think he's held extremely well. And look, I just wanted to show you here, this spear band unit here, this that you don't see used very often. Look at the kills, look at the Dacian dead in front of those spear units. As I say, this spear warband unit, very underestimated unit on the modern day battlefield. Now you can see Barkyman bringing his Germanic cavalry into the fray here. Okay, but you can see First Prime suffered a lot of casualties. My infantry still pushing on his infantry. You got Lando's SBQR infantry ready to throw in. You can see Lando charging his cavalry in again there, and bang as it smashes in there. Massive hit there by Lando there on to First Prime. And you can see the Germanic general there charging his effective against armour axemen in now. But really, I think he could do with his berserkers and his night raiders there to lower the morale of our troops maybe. And now you can see we're really committing all our SBQR troops there. Right, let's pause the game for a second here. So there's a berserker unit that's been activated, so that's going to be taking the morale away from our troops. That's a good move. But over here you'll see that Crypto's done exactly what he wanted to do here. He's got his fast-moving cavalry in behind. Now, I was expecting the berserkers and those night raiders to have been thrown in on that flank, but it wasn't. As I say, here you can see Aurelius pushing forward into the Macedonians, but you can see Steve has turned his units to face the Spartans there to hold them up. Well, he's sending more Macedonian units into the fray here to help us against the enemy troops on the other flank there. So good move by Steve, holding the Spartans up while sending units in. Here you've got Mantu's 4 infantry units there. Maybe he could charge into the flank of the Macedonians there to help Aurelius there take them out. I don't know what you guys are thinking there. Or he could send more units over there, and I think Mantu's going to get some really fantastic kills because he's just taken out all our archers. Now you saw how many archers we had. We got loads and loads of archers. Well, Mantu's just taken them all out with his cavalry. So I'm thinking he's going to get massive kills in this game from what his cavalry has done to our archers there. Okay. But as I say, over here I thought you'd find this interesting. See Crypto charging those cavalry units in here. Now this is one really interesting thing here. Bang! He charges into that berserker unit there and has now activated it. But if you notice here, right, so that unit has been activated by Crypto's cavalry, okay? And that berserker unit's going to chase after them. But over this side, very, very unusually, they took out the whole berserker unit. Okay, those 2 cavalry units there has taken out the whole of that berserker unit there. And now that the other berserker unit that was activated is now chasing it. But there you are. Very unusual to see a whole berserker unit taken out by 2 cavalry units. And as I say there, you can see Crypto's units are now running away. They can now take that berserker unit all over the battlefield, wherever they want. They just draw it away from the main battle there. So nice move there by Crypto with his fast moving cavalry. But meanwhile, over here on the enemy left flank and our right flank, we are really hammering First Prime. There, you can see he's got his Germanic effective against armour axemen in there. He's got his cavalry. You can see Mantu's bringing some Julii cavalry over here. I think Lando has just taken out Mantu's cavalry there. I think most of Mantu's cavalry has just been taken out by Lando's cavalry, so that's good news for us there. But as I say, we're really pushing in here on First Prime. And don't you think that First Prime has held really well there against the impact of all of us smashing into him? I think actually a fantastic hold. As I say, I know he's got an Eagle unit and his infantry general there. This really helping morale there, but just looking at, there you can see Turbo charging his cavalry in there. Bang, as he charges in there. Nice hit by Lando. Right, let's pause the game for a second here. Right, so you can see now that after a fantastic hold, First Prime's units are starting to rout. You can see some of the Germanic chosen axemen are starting to rout as well. Steve's, as I say, got some of his pike units involved there, so nice move there by Steve. And as I say, just look at this berserker unit, one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful unit in the game, chasing Crypto's cavalry all over the battlefield there. As I say, really good tactic there. Just draw the berserkers away from the main battle here. Now here you can see that Steve has done a fantastic job of holding up Aurelius. See, I think speed is the essence here for Aurelius. He thought maybe he could rout the Macedonians quite quickly in a mass rout situation and then get his Spartans in behind our troops there. But if you notice here, the Spartans have lost a heck of a lot of troops there fighting those Macedons head on there, and it's very slow progress for them. But here you can see we're really charging in there, and we've routed a lot of the enemy troops. I think First Prime's Eagle unit's just been taken out, and I think First Prime might just have his general unit left here. Here you can see Barclayman still moving his Germanic cavalry around the battlefield, but it looks like, after, as I say, after a fierce fight here, the enemy's left flank, or our right flank, has now been broken by a concerted attack there by a lot of our troops in one big hit there. As I say, you can see First Prime's general unit still holding there. So as I say, I think he did extremely well on that flank there, but oh, there you are. I think he's just been taken out there. So unfortunately there on left flank, you can see here a Barclayman charging his cavalry in there as well. He's still got some Night Raiders he could throw in there. But as I say, I think First Prime held extremely well there under the massive attack that he was getting there. I can see a couple of Mantu's infantry units in there as well. Okay, so Aurelius has finally taken out the Macedon troops that he was fighting. He's killed the Macedonian general there. Okay, but I think that it just took too long to do that. Steve did a really good delay in action there with his Macedonians, and now Aurelius, he's lost so many troops fighting the Macedonians. He's going to charge into us, but yeah, he hasn't got a lot of troops left. And as I say, you can see the Germania troops there, a lot of archer units there, and you can see some of the Germanian Night Raiders charging in there as well as the Gothic cavalry. Mantu, I see he's got a couple of his Julii units left there, and I can see even though First Prime's general is killed, he's still got his general unit fighting there. You know, the last two, and there you are, he's just broken there. So you can see Aurelius now bringing his very battle damaged Greek city units into the fray now, but as you can see, he's got so few units left, and they, as I say, very battle damaged there. So I think it might be too late to make a difference at this stage of the battle. You can see Barkman, as I say, he's got a lot of his archers shooting in there. He's got his Night Raiders there and his cavalry, and bang, as he charges in there, took out one of my units there that's attacking his general. So nice move there. But I think I'm going to counter-attack. I'm going to try and take out the Germanic general with my battle damaged cavalry. Bang, as a charge in there. Yeah, managed to take out the Germanic general there. So that's good news for us.
His men know their doom approaches.
As I say, those Greek cities there, I should imagine if Lando charges his cavalry in there, which he's going to do now, get ready for this, and bang, an infantry and cavalry combined attack into those tired, battle-damaged Spartans there. And as you can see, the Spartans, all the Spartans have now been routed. Okay, so all the Spartans are now routed. And there's one of Man 2's Julia units left there. And it looks like our team has managed to to go on to win the battle there. I see Barkyman's got one Knight Raider unit left. Wouldn't surprise me if he actually attacked rather than admit defeat now. He's going to charge there. I think he's just pressed the war cry button there, and he's going to charge in now and attack those SPQR units. But it wouldn't surprise me if it routed almost on impact. There you go. It's so battle damaged there. So let's just pause the game for a second here. So as you can see, it's a massively spread out battlefield. If you look, you'll see dead everywhere, all over the battlefield here. But just look, that is the entirety of my army. 13 infantry units and 6 cavalry. That's everything I got left. That's the whole lot of my army, the entirety of my army. That's everything I got left there. So it just goes to show what a battle of attrition this was. And just say, Steve, look, he's only got, what, 3, 4... of his units left. Remember, these are 120 units there, 21 man units. They're reduced to that. Let's say here you can see, I think Crypto's got 2 units left there, a chosen swordsman unit left and a cavalry unit left there, and that's all that Crypto's got left. So it just goes to show how much this really was a battle of attrition. Lando, I noticed, still got quite a bit of his army left there. So as I say, he did well there to keep that many units still on the battlefield at the end of the battle there. But I just want to show you this part of the battlefield. This is where we hit first prime. Just look at the number of dead and how concentrated they are in this position here. I mean, look at that. I mean, it just goes to show how concentrated this part of the battlefield was, with us hitting him with everything, almost everything we had, and him still holding for so long. So, as I say, this was a pivotal part of the battle here, a decisive part, I think. And as I say, here you can see a lot of Julii cavalry dead. And over here you can see, this is where Aurelius decided to take on the Macedonians there, hoping that he'd be able to, I think, rout them quite quickly because they've got low morale, and then be able to get into the rear of our attacking troops. But Steve held really well there, held him up and caused him a lot of casualties there. So, as I say, Steve did really well there. So, as I say, very spread out battle. And, as I say here, look, all the way over here as well. So, as I say, it's everywhere you look on this battlefield, you can see little clumps of the dead there. But, as I say, here is the most concentrated area where we, as I say, where we aggressively attack first prime. Okay, first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game there. I thought everybody played well, and I was really surprised it was an average victory for all of you. I thought it's going to be close. I really did think it was going to be close looking at that. And the first and second highest kills will surprise you, I think. Lando, 1,708, so he's got the highest kills, but only just. If we go down, you'll see that Brotherhood member Man 2's got 1,706, just 2 less. But I think Man 2 got most of his kills by killing our archers there. You saw how many archers we had, and he took them all out with his cavalry. So well done to first prime. Good tactical move there to try and take pressure off the other flank, but he got a little bit isolated, and he was hit, but he held really well. Well done to Barclayman with Germania. Did quite well with that experimental army of his. Well done to Man 2, as I say, second highest kills in the game. Really took our archers out well behind our main battle line. And well done to Aurelius there. Interesting tactics that he did there, but well done, guys. Well done to Brotherhood member Lando, as I say, highest kills in the game. That old army of mine, not too bad kills, not brilliant, but not too bad. Well done to Crypto. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but I thought the way that he dealt with the enemy berserkers was really good, and the way he attacked the archers as well. So as I say, probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he still had a very important role to play on the battlefield there. Took out 2 berserker units. Well done to Steve. Possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he played really well as well there. So with that experimental Macedonian army. So just say once again, really well played to everybody in the game there. Quite a diverse game, I thought. Our team was Rome, Dacia and Macedon. So yeah, that was quite good. And they were Rome, Germania, Rome and Greek cities. Do you think either team had a faction advantage there? Please put your thoughts in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed this battle. And as I say, I thought this first prime held so well on that flank. And as I say, it was a good tactical move by him, attacking us on that flank to try and take pressure off of his teammates on the other flank there. But as I say, unfortunately, he got a little bit isolated. Spartan Commander saying bye for now.